Welcome to a recorded lower body and posture workout. It will be about 20 minutes long. We're excited to have you here. A few things to note before you get started is we don't have a warm up on this video. So if you need to warm up still, either keep this video paused and do your own or follow this link to another warm up. A few things to have before getting started are water nearby and music on in the background if you want it, as we won't have music on in this recording. I'm going to go through the first 3 exercises of the first circuit. So the first circuit is only 3 exercises, and then we'll get started, just so you know what to expect. The first one is a glute bridge, squeezing either a ball or a pillow or a foam roller or something. That's number 1. Number 2 is a floor angel. This one can be done with or without weights, but I would say no heavier than 5 pounds. And then lastly, we go into a low trap pull, which is activation of your lower traps down here. And this one is unweighted, so you won't need any exercise equipment. We are going to do that 3 times through for 45 seconds each exercise, and then you'll get a longer rest. So we are getting started now. Time is on for those glute bridges with a ball or a pillow squeeze, whatever you have at home. A few things to note here are keeping your stomach sucked in and up. So belly button in towards your spine, up towards your rib cage will help activate your lower abs. So we take some of the strain off of your back and put it in your core, which is ideal. The ball is there so that you can feel your inner thighs activate, feel that glute squeeze. And if you're doing the variation on the right, this modified variation, you're just doing a sit to hover. So you find a chair, you come lift your bum off the chair a few centimeters, hold for about 5 seconds, and then sit again. We are switching into the floor angel. So I'll give you a second to turn over, finding some weights if you want it, or a wall sit with a wall angel. So time is on. If you have your weights and you're doing the variation on the left, you're just trying to slide your shoulders through their entire range of motion. It's the exact same if you don't have weights. On the right, you want the back of your head, back of your shoulders, and your sacrum to be pressed against the wall. Then you're going to put your elbows and your wrists against the wall, if you can have them there. If you can't, at least try and get your elbows against the wall or your wrists against the wall. And then you're going to extend up and pull down into kind of a W formation. We have 3 more seconds here, and then you're going to roll over onto your stomach, or if you're doing the standing variation, you're going to face the wall. Time is on for this low trap squeeze. The variation on the left, the lying variation, you're going to have your arms, your palms facing the ground. This is going to externally rotate your shoulders, which will allow you to activate your lower traps better than if you have internally rotated shoulders or palms facing up. So palms facing down, and then think about squeezing your shoulder blades down towards your hips. If you're doing the variation on the right, the standing variation, keep 1 foot back, forearms and wrists against the wall. As you press up, your elbows will come off the wall, and then pull your elbows down and they'll meet up on the wall again. All right, team, that is 1 round. We are going to give you a 30-second break here, and we'll do it 2 more times. Hopefully you're feeling warm. Getting ready for those glute bridges with the adductor squeeze again in 3, 2, 1, and go, or the sit to hover if you're doing the standing/seated variations today. Either are perfectly great. If you want to make the glute bridges more challenging, you can go 2 feet up, 1 foot down. So push your hips up when both feet are on the ground, lift 1 leg up at the top, and then lower down with 1 leg up. Or you can do 1 leg up, 1 leg down if you've done this a few times and you're feeling confident. Another thing to note here is the closer the heels are to the bum, the more glutes you're going to get. The further your heels are away from your bum, the more hamstrings you're going to get. And both are perfect. We mostly just want to avoid getting lower back. switching into your floor angels, finding weight, or the wall angels if you're doing them on the wall or doing them without weight. Time is on. We're going 45 seconds here. Really trying to feel through the whole range of motion of the shoulder. Feel like your humerus head is rotating its entire pain-free range, I should say. If you have pain in your shoulder at any one of these ranges, don't go into that range. And on the wall, if you can't get your elbows and your wrists down, try to get your head back at least and have that chin tucked a little bit, not down towards your chest, but like pushing back into the wall. And we are switching into that low trap pull or the W wall slide. So for that low trap pull, your palms are facing the ground. You're going to raise your arms up just slightly to hip height, and then you're going to squeeze your shoulder blades down towards your hips. You really want to feel like they're pulling down. Another way of thinking about it is that you're rolling your shoulder blades back and down towards your hips. On the wall, that staggered stance, pressing into the wall at about a 45-degree angle with your forearms extending and sliding down the wall. As you extend, your elbows will come off the wall, and that is a-okay. 2 rounds done. Go ahead and rest. We'll get 30 seconds here. And we'll do that all one more time. Getting started with that glute bridge adductor squeeze in 3, 2, 1, and time is on. Or the sit to hover, or that variation on the right. Either way, keeping your core engaged, squeezing your belly in and up, and finding whatever variation of difficulty works best for you, either 2 legs up, 2 legs down. And this is for the glute bridge only, 1 leg up, 1 leg down, or 2 legs up, 1 leg down. That would be much more challenging on a sit to hover. We have 5 seconds left here, and then you're going to roll over into your wall angel or your floor angel. I'll give you 2 seconds to get there, and time is on with that wall angel or the floor angel. Going slow and controlled through your pain-free range. You might notice that you're going a bit further this time than the first time you went through this. It's mostly just because you've warmed up. You've gotten used to using your muscles in that range. This one's going to help open up your pecs as well as activate your rotator cuff. Your pecs are your chest muscles. Five more seconds here. 3, 2, 1, rolling over onto your stomach or to face the wall. And we're going into that low trap pull. This is the last round of your low trap pull or that W wall slide. Really feeling the pull from kind of the bottom of your shoulder blade. So your shoulder blade has a little point on the bottom of it, and feel like that is pulling towards your hips. And we have 5 more seconds here. And then you get a 30-second rest. Enjoy this one. It's a good time to find some water. We will start the next circuit when you're back. It won't be on the ground. You'll be standing up. And I'll just go through the 2 exercises super quickly. The first one is a wall sit with a chin tuck or just a standing chin tuck. Also, this is not the best example. I didn't do the best example of it, so I will correct it when we actually do it. The next one is a 3-way calf raise on the left or a weighted calf raise on the right, and I'll give you some tips when we get there. Setting up on the wall, we'll get started in 3, 2, 1 with the wall sit with chin tucks. Time is on. So if you're on the wall, the back of your head, back of your shoulders, and your sacrum, so like between your hips, are all on the wall. Tessa has her hands with her palms out. Your hands can pretty much do whatever you want. And you're just taking that chin, kind of scooping it down and back so that you feel the back of your head press into the wall. You should still have a fist width between your chin and your chest. We have, I think, 10 more seconds here. And on the right, I am demonstrating this without a wall sit, but because I don't have the feedback of the wall, I'm scooping a little bit too much. And we'll get to that next time. We are going into the 3-way calf raise. So here on the left, you're going up neutral, so your weight is evenly distributed. And then you're going to go up, putting most of your weight on your pinky toes, and then you'll come back down, up, putting most of your weight on your big toes, and then back down. And you'll repeat the 3 of those. When you come up on your big toes, it's okay to have your knees come internally rotated together. And when you come up on your pinky toes, it's okay to have your knees come apart and externally rotated a little bit. If you don't want to do the 3-way calf raise, feel free to just do the regular calf raise with weights. And if you want more of a challenge, you can even add weights to the 3-way calf raise. We are taking a break. We're going to do that 2 more times before we start circuit number 3. So getting set up on that wall or just standing with the chin tucks. We'll get started in 3, 2, 1, and time is on. So I was trying to scoop too much and not just press my head back enough. Ideally, there is still about a fist width, or if you think about holding like an orange between your chin and your chest, or a cookie, maybe like a vertical cookie, not a horizontal cookie. If you held the cookie vertically, it could sit between your chin and your chest. But usually a good thing to do is put your fist there and check if you have about a fist width between your chin and your chest as you're scooping your head back, pressing the back of the head into the wall. 3, 2, 1, setting up for calf raises. Time is on. We're going into 3-way calf raises, or those weighted calf raises, just coming up and down neutral. Some variations you can do here. You can always add weight on the left if you want. You can also go up fast and down slow. Or if you're feeling extra ready for a challenge, go ahead and stand on something like a step, or maybe a book or a stool, and drop your heels below parallel as you go down. That would be the hardest variation for sure. And I would only do that one neutrally. I wouldn't go 3 ways on your toes, your pinkies, and then your big toes. 1 more round of that one before we move on to the 3rd circuit. Setting up on the wall for the wall sit with chin tucks, or just standing with chin tucks. We will get started in 3, 2, 1, and go. So again, back of the head, back of the shoulders, sacrum / bum are all on the wall. For the wall sit, having your feet far enough out that your knees are directly on top of your heels is ideal. But if you can't hold that, or you don't want to hold that low for that long, go ahead and slide your bum up the wall a little bit. It'll be less hard on your legs, but you'll still get the activation of those deep neck extensors. We have 10 more seconds here. 3, 2, 1, and switching into those calf raises. Variation on the left is a 3-way calf raise. Variation on the right is a weighted calf raise. If you're on the left, you're going up neutral, down neutral, up on your big toes, down the way you came up, and then up on your pinky toes, down following the path you came up. When you are on your big toes, your knees might come together a little bit. That's okay. When you're on your pinky toes, your knees might go apart a little bit, and that's okay. Five more seconds here. And then we're going into our rest between sets. We're going into circuit 3 after this rest. Circuit 3 will be a 2 up, 1 down sit to stand. So you will need a chair and a wide bent over row with external rotation. I'll just let you see them for a few seconds before we get started. So the first one is 2 up, 1 down sit to stand, or an eccentric sit to stand. And the second one is an external rotation or a bent over row with an external rotation. So we're going to get started with the sit to stand in 3, 2, 1, and go. A few things to think about here, whether you're doing the 2 up, 1 down sit to stand or the eccentric lower, is to really sit your hips down and back. Your foot is a tripod. You will feel weight in both the ball of your foot, the ball of the pinky toe, and the heel, but a lot of the weight will be in the heel as you come down, especially in that eccentric sit to stand. And we are switching to the bent over row with external rotation. Go ahead and find, oh, just kidding. We're switching to the opposite leg. Sorry, that's on me. You have 2 legs. If you're doing the 2 up, 1 down, that was your cue to switch. If you're doing the eccentric sit to stand, you just keep going, exactly the same. If your knees are sore in this one, try and keep your knee a little bit more behind your toe. Go ahead and switch to the bent over row. I jumped the gun, but we're there now. Time is on. So in that bent over position, we really want to focus on having the flat back. So head, shoulder blades, and sacrum are in line. It's like if you had the dowel on your back, you'd have 3 points of connection. You are squeezing your shoulder blades together in a wide row, so your elbows come out in line with your shoulders, and then you're rotating the dumbbells up kind of towards your ears, so they're in line with your ears. And then you go down and repeat. If you're doing the banded version on the right, I want your hands to be palms up like you're holding a platter. Thumbs are pointing kind of to the side. Elbows stay pinned into your sides, and you pull the band apart. Go ahead and take a rest. We will rest for 30 seconds here, and we'll do that 2 more times. I'll rewind the video. The first one is the 2 up, 1 down sit to stand. Getting started here in 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and go with the 2 up, 1 down sit to stand, or that eccentric sit to stand. So eccentric just means you're going slower on the way down than you are on the way up. And it doesn't matter if it's a sit to stand or a squat or a deadlift or any movement. If it's eccentric, it means slower on the way down, faster on the way up. As I was saying last time, if your knees hurt in either of these, maybe standing a bit further away from the box or the chair, go ahead and switch sides if you're doing the 2 up, 1 down sit to stand, so that your knee can stay more closer to your ankle or your heel rather than pushing forward over the toe. Your knees will go forward a little bit. You're doing a squat, they have to go forward, but generally they are a little bit less painful if they're back over your heel rather than forward over your toe. And we are switching to that bent over row with external rotation or just the banded external rotation. Another thing I'll draw your attention to if you're doing this variation on the right is my elbows actually come off my sides. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for the elbows to stay completely on your sides. I'm just not that good at externally rotating, apparently. Maybe I got to work on that. So there shouldn't be any space between your elbow and your side if you're doing the banded variation. 10 more seconds here. squeezing those shoulder blades together. I probably wouldn't go heavier than like 5 pounds for this one. You can row more. Go ahead and rest. Time is off. We are resting for 30 seconds. Yeah, you can row more than 5 pounds most likely, but adding that external rotation in really changes it. And it's easier to injure yourself with heavier weights on an external rotation than it is with heavier weights on a row. And we're going to get started here in 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and go with the 2 up, 1 down, sit to stand. This is your last exercise of the day. And then as I reminded you to do a warm up, I'll also remind you to do a cool down at the end of this, maybe just a few stretches focusing on your quads and your glutes and maybe some thoracic rotation. Another way to think or to help avoid knee pain on either of these is to think about your knee tracking straight over your foot. Go ahead and switch the leg you're coming down on if you are doing the 2 up, 1 down, sit to stand. But yeah, you want the knee to go track over the foot rather than inside. You don't want the knee to collapse in or the arch to collapse in of your foot. If you notice your arch of your foot is collapsing in, it probably also means the knee of that leg is collapsing in. So something you can do to help with that is activate your glute. Think about wrapping your glute out. And go ahead and switch to the bent over row or that external rotation with the band. Time is on. The last 35 seconds of work here, team. You are so close. Keeping your core engaged, both in the flat back and in the standing variation. Really thinking about having the head, shoulders, and hips in line, squeezing those shoulder blades together, and then rotating your wrist towards the sky. 2, 1, and done. You are done with your lower body and posture workout. I hope you got a good workout. And I hope you remember to stretch or roll after this. Thanks for enjoying it.